For now, I'm just going to, let's see, I can fix the camera a little bit, don't mind me. Give me just one moment, I want to drop this a tad. Let's see if this works. Give me a moment to just set up the audio video. Don't need the scarf anymore, it's warmed up a bit in here. Okay, what do we got here? All right, we are gonna go. Let's see here. What do we have? Let's get started. So this is the third episode. One thing I got some questions about is when you're learning something new from scratch, what are you picking up, right? How do you learn? What do you take notes on? What do you just kind of remember? Things like that. Because you're not really going to remember much. The things that you remember are the things you do over and over and over again. And when you're learning it for the first time, you don't really know what you need. But the things that are important to learn, right, typically are going to be, when you're learning a new language, a new framework, are commands, things like important concepts, important notes like what are the magic names or the magic numbers, stuff like that, right? So here we're going to be more explicit about that, right? So in our notes we're going to do a new one. I'm still not super happy with notes.app, but it works for us for now. We're going to go commands. All right, we can do this. We don't need this one. We're also going to do concepts, and one I'm just going to call magic for now. All right, the magic we learned yesterday is about naming. All right, and in particular, it wasn't even yesterday. It was quite a while back. It was a week, last Friday. So what we learned was that there's a lot of naming magic going on here. Right. In particular, it was naming to tie controllers, views, and we want that Oxford comma, and templates together. Right. In particular, it was name underbar controller dot Elixir with name. Where was the view? And in fact, let's be explicit about the directories they belong. Controllers. Oh no, autocorrect. Views slash name underbar view dot Elixir, and we also had templates slash name slash index.html.eex. Vocabulary is also an important thing to learn. Vocab, right? What did we learn? We learned that EEX stands for embedded Elixir, and that's specifically HTML, essentially, right? These are all for all intents and purposes just plain old HTML chunks that you embed some Elixir-ish in there, if statements and function calls and whatnot. What else did we learn? So vocab, concepts, any magic, right? Magic is kind of a subset of concepts, commands that are important to us, and whatnot. Here's some other terminology we learned. So vocab and terminology. So here's one, Cowboy Cowlib. These are an HTTP server, and specifically an Elixir HTTP server, things like that, right? Mix is the build tool, Hex is the package manager. I'm not going to organize everything for now, but you know, as you go, right, you're going to write everything down. You don't have to organize it perfectly right away, but you do have the opportunity to clean it up as you go along, right? So we're going to keep going with that, right? Where we left off is we just wanted a new controller and a new view and a new template that showed us the to-dos. Now we're actually going to write a to-do. So a to-do is going to be essentially just a list of you know, input items, right? And let's see. This is the part where input type checkbox. What does this look like? Oh, here we go. We're just going to copy this, all right? So we just have a repeated number of these, right? To do item. And for to do item label, check me off, please. So now our fancy live dashboard is going to go and do the thing. It's not very formatted very well. We're going to live with it for now. All right, doesn't quite matter to us. I guess we can pull some of this out of the hero. That's probably a good chunk of our problem. See if we can get this. All right, this is reasonable. Okay, oh look, it's not just the gray stuff in there. This is just the thing. Do I even need this? Maybe I can just get rid of this to ease up on some of that chrome there. All right. So now we have, I don't want it checked for now. We're just going to get rid of that. Do I want to muck with the formatting for now? Not really. I'm just going to let it go. All right. This is all I need to know here. Why is this? I'm a little concerned it's not on one line. I kind of expect it to be on one line, but it might just be the built-in CSS this thing is using. We'll live with it for now. Now, a real to-do list is going to have multiple items, right? Check me off also. All right. Oops. Check me off. Me too. All right, so we should get a nice little list of these. Boom, boom, boom. Of course, now this is not going to do anything. This is just static HTML. Checking the box doesn't do anything. It doesn't trigger any JavaScript. But we're going to get to that later. So here we have a rudimentary, barely there to-do list. Now, my understanding is to get this to work, we need some views and a view magic here. All right. So where we left off is JSON. Don't do render JSON for now. Layouts is to make the back end do this magic for us instead. I don't need this dashboard anymore. So what we want is the controller, some combination of the controller, the view, to render to-dos to the template up here, like this. So we will, let's go read. So when we're trying to do this from scratch, we're learning everything. I know nothing. You probably know more than me. Thank you, new viewer. Appreciate you coming to check in on me. And we'll see how we go from there. Now, let's see here. So in our index view, let's just start with let's see, so this is our layout view. So let's go to our view. This looks promising, right? And what do we got? So we can implement some functions there, and the functions are available in the template. All right. Rendering templates. Let me review real quick, make sure I didn't miss anything. So from endpoints to views, page, we did that. Another new action is the render, show. The controller show, we did that. So to do controller. Okay, so we didn't have show, we had index. Because index is going to call the index template. All right. All right, well, let's do this. We're already rendering. Let's go to our view, layout view, and let's go back to the views thingy. Rendering. So show, so it's called show here. Why am I using index? So I'm gonna have to review my own notes. That's why, because we wanted the index template. We're using the index template. Put layout. Okay, so we're gonna go to the view and start to do some view magic. I don't think this is gonna be the 100% correct place for this. Why don't I just put it in the correct place? Actions. Hold on just a moment, everyone. Individual items. Okay, so this is what the difference is. Index here and show there. But we're using index because it is the top level of to-dos. So we should be showing roughly all the to-dos for a given resource. All right, so we're doing that correct. Now, render the to-dos. We can pass arguments. So when we render the to view, we can pass arguments. So let's pass okay. Now I'm in the controllers area. So the to-do index. So instead of rendering this, right, essentially what we're doing is this. Passing a thing. Params. Okay, so this is interesting syntax that I'm unfamiliar with, and this is Elixir related. So let's go back to Elixir lang, right? So I have to learn some syntax before I can make progress on that particular thing. So modules and functions, right? And what we got here is named functions. So defining functions and we do something with them, great. Function capturing. The captured syntax. All right, this is not what we're talking about. We have this What was the syntax I used over here? So this percent curly brackets. Oh, look, default arguments. That's cool. All right. What is this syntax? It's not a function syntax. This is a, like, it's like a map or a, oof. Pattern matching. Okay, well, we're in curly brackets here, so that's a list of something, an arbitrary list of things, tuples. Pin. Okay. Keyword lists. Okay, I think this keyword, so this is a list of tuples. No, this is a map, so key value. And these are tokens, Ruby style tokens. Is that right? Let's check out tokens, or atoms, I guess they call them. Oh, this is what we want. So atoms, symbols and atoms, tokens. All right, so that's that. We know what that is. Anonymous functions, we know that. Linked lists, tuples. So linked lists is square brackets. Tuples is curly brackets, all right? Okay. And so where is this guy, our percent operator? That gives us, I think we saw it. All right, so maps, there it is. So percent means maps. So we got a lot in that, roughly in that few minutes that we got here. So we're going back to Elixir. So we do colon means autumn. Okay, symbol, token. All right, and we had square bracket is linked list, otherwise known as, it's kind of a naive array, typically. That's how you use. Curly bracket are tuples, and maps. What's going on? I'm just going to type it. That's not the symbol. Percentage are maps. Okay, so now that we're fresh, so we're sending a map of the key messenger to the argument messenger, and we're sending that. We're redefining the map as the messenger argument. Okay. Messenger. So this is just string interpolation there, or string parsing, format parsing. From messenger variable. Do we need to send in a map? I don't think we need to send that. I think we can send in anything, unless I'm mistaking this. Oh, you know what? Text 2, show 2. Everything is a 2, so it should be a map, so you can pull out what you want. Okay. So let's just play around with this a little bit. So HTML2 is going to put anything in there, right? We have to be able to put in here whatever parameters we want. For now, let's just hard code this into stuff. So we're going to create a map called to-dos. Is a map of to-dos bound what the values are an array, a linked list of tuples. And each tuple is going to have a name, to-do name, and a check status, false. Come on, auto format, do your thing. All right, maybe not. This is not the VS plugin that I want to have. I want you to auto format that for me beautifully and lovely, and you're not doing it, and I'm very sad. Why do I get, do I need trailing commas? Should I just do it line by line? Is it just gonna match the closing brackets? All right, I don't know. The auto formatter is not happy, and I'm not happy when the auto formatter is not happy, so we're just gonna go like this for now. Okay. Now what I want is to not put in this, but I want to render. Where's my render function? I want to render text. I want to use our templates. Rendering templates. I want to render a template and pass in data into the template. So that should be define, render, index, assigns. So that's stuff, we're just passing in stuff there. Okay. Back to controllers, actions. Do I want actions or rendering? Okay, so I think I just add on this extra stuff here at the end. All right, so I can just make this a named argument, to-dos, and pass in to-dos. Controller in the view must have the same root name. All right, we got that. Which must also have the same root name as the template directory. All right, we have that. So to-do, to-do, to-do. That's the magic naming. Show. Okay, so we're rendering index. All right, we got that. Pass the value, it says show, but we're using the index action received for messenger from the params as an assign. Messenger, 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 messenger. Okay, so keyword like we've seen with messenger, messenger, or we can do assign. Okay, so they call assigns. That's just data we're shoving into the thing. Now, is this going to work? Messenger, messenger, messenger. Let's see. Well, let's go to our template and see if we can do something with our data. Messenger, receiver. So, where's the messenger example? From @messenger. We're just going to do this for now, just to see if we get anything at to-dos. To-do controller. All right, look at this. We're doing something. If it's mad at you, that means you've done something. To-do controller. Oh, I may have just forgotten a comma here. To-do controller ex6. 1, 2, 5, 6. Must be followed by a space. All right, so it's my map up here that I'm defining wrong. Is that it? Too many to-dos. All right, so I'm back to Elixir, basic operators. I just want to assign a variable. It's just equals, right? Just want to assign a variable, and you are mad at me. All right, well, I've messed up this syntax pretty bad. Let's do this. To-dos. Let's just test what we know. So what if we just said to-do is a string? Test. Okay. Now this is where jumping into many things all at once starts to bite you in the butt. All right. Undefined function to do 0. To-dos. That's what, there's a typo there. I was thinking that was a function when it's really that variable. Undefined function to do 0. Come on, try again. Give me what you got. Okay, so we're back to, oh, look at that. That worked. So just a string works. All right. Now, we don't want just a string, right? What if we want a simple map, right? So to do, let's go through this one at a time. So we want a simple map of test is the key. Key goes to a value. try this guy now. Okay, so one thing doesn't like what I'm doing here with something or another. Key value of type map. So I'm not allowed to pass maps as assigns. So that's where it's getting mad at me. It says you cannot just put a map straight in here. What I have to do is, what am I allowed to put in there? Decimals, time, integers, list. I can put a list. Let's just put a list of our atoms in. I don't need this key thing. So let's just put a list of strings. Value. All right. So val1, val2, val3. What about this? How about this? How do you feel about this? All right, so it just kind of concatenates it for us and whatnot with the list. It just print. Oh, that is cool. We're cranking on this now. Okay, next is, so we know that works. So what did we learn? We learned can't shove a map into a template. Assign functionality, however, to pull val from a map, I think. No. I'm just gonna skip that. So now what we want is a list of tuples. So number 2 is, we want this guy here a list of tuples. Let's see how angry you are about that. This means we're only getting integers representing bytes, binaries, or other lists. I got, okay. So a list of lists is okay, but not a list of tuples. All right. Phoenix, thank you for your better than average error messages. I'm quite pleased with your ability to give me something useful. Now what do you got for me? What do you got for me now? Uh-oh. Exception. Compiler. And so for the compiler, okay. Now you're actually in somewhere totally different here. Am I inappropriately defining this guy? Bytes, binaries, or other lists. Oh, that's what it is. I'm not allowed to put Booleans in there. Okay, so this is more or less. Let me be more explicit here about what I'm talking about. Okay. False, false, one, false, false. All right, look at that. So we can actually throw stuff in. We're not doing anything interesting with it here yet. And we've also learned basic syntax for Elixir syntax for linked lists, arrays, basically arrays, tuples, and maps. These maps in particular are the #1 most useful data structure in all of computer science and actual getting things done. academically as well as just getting things done on a day-to-day basis, programming, professional coding. So good to know you. Other than that, to be very explicit. This is actually important to be explicit here. Key, because this arrow notation is not something I'm used to. So here's what we got. That's going to be it for today. I'll see you tomorrow for next, and we'll try and do something interesting with this list of lists there. Thank you again for taking the time to check this out. Enjoy.